The baby's fair-skinned belly rose and fell. Every part of him appeared to be located where it should be, except for a large, wine-coloured birthmark discolouring his right thigh. Lillian traced her finger around its irregular circumference. He wriggled in response, screwing his face up until he resembled a grumpy old man. She smiled and picked up a corner of the shawl that remained unmarred by dirt to wipe the muck out of his eyes and mouth. He was ugly in the squashed-up way newborns always were, yet also quite adorable, especially the way he blinked up at her with old soul eyes and began to squawk. She was already beginning to fall in love with him, and the thought depressed her. Before his tiny siren could gain traction, she quickly wrapped his plump body up nice and secure again. As she tucked in the last corner, a piece of paper slipped from the layers. Lillian unfolded and discovered it to be a promissory note to the value of £1. She refolded it and slid it between her top 2 blouse buttons to lodge it safely between her breasts. A crunching step on dry bark and a small movement flashed at the corner of her eye. Scared, Lillian glanced around her yet couldn't see anything out of the ordinary. She gently laid her hands on the newborn and felt his warmth emanate from the yarn. There was the sound again. Instinctively, Lillian pulled her own shawl up over her mouth and her bonnet down and twisted back towards where she had been painting. Another girl, younger than herself, stood like an apparition. A buzz filled Lillian's ears. The cicada's cacophony re-entered her consciousness. She snatched the baby from where he was resting and began to run. Her shawl flapped against her face as she neared the girl, who instinctively held her arms out in self-defense. "Please, you must take him," Lillian murmured, thrusting the precious bundle straight into them. Without looking back, she hurried out to Gladstone Road, the thread to stitch her back to the safety of the West End and her sister. Unfortunately, the baby was of no use to Lillian, even though she missed him already. She'd never be allowed to keep him.